candidates. And he will also iterate the rules of the evening. They are just a very few, but important to be adhered to. He needs little introduction to those of you who have lived in Cherokee County even for a short time. But it's important to note that he has had an envied career in management and leadership with first a very large nonprofit organization and then with a couple of very important and large corporations. And all of that has groomed him for very important leadership positions within the county, most notably of which of 2 terms as the chairman of the Cherokee County Republican Party. He has served on a number of citizen committees to be able to help. He served with the state party in a number of ways. Please give a warm welcome to our moderator, Jeff.
This is going to be a problem. It involves technical stuff. Is this thing on? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
You didn't do this? I can hear myself fine, so. My wife says that's usually enough for me. So, first of all, I would like to thank the CCRW for the opportunity to do this. Thank you for the entire board and to its chairman. I think that these forums are really, really important. And it gives people an opportunity to meet and hear and talk to candidates. It gives candidates an opportunity to address valid concerns and issues and concerns that voters have, and that provides the connection that's important in a democratic republic. So we have tonight with us a candidate that is running for commission for the 4th District, Scott Gordon. And I'll be introducing Scott in a minute and have him come up. We also have the 11th District congressional candidates, Bob Barr and Barry Loudermilk. That is his last name in alphabetical order. And we're really thrilled to have both of them here. I've been involved, as Bob was saying, in Cherokee County for a long time, as a lot of you have. And I've had the opportunity to know both of these men. And this has nothing to do with any questions being asked, but I will say we are very fortunate in both cases to have to make this kind of a choice. They're both very good men. So, with that being said, each candidate is going to be allowed a 2-minute opening statement. The moderator will, that's me, will ask questions of each candidate. Questions have been selected by the 4-member panel sitting in front of you, and have been chosen from questions submitted to them from the audience prior to this gathering and as this gathering was occurring. So it was somewhat dynamic as we were sitting up here. The chosen questions will be have been submitted by the audience ahead of time or by email. No questions will be allowed from the floor, as has been determined by the CCRW in this format. Candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. I may allow, at my discretion, that's a position of power. It's the only one I have. I may allow a 1-minute rebuttal to any accusatory points. Other candidates can ask for that, and I may say yes or I may say no, depending on the number of issues. The goal is to be as fair and as impartial as possible, and I think that should be pretty easy to accomplish. Each candidate will be allowed to give a 2-minute closing statement as well. We have with us Ms. Barbara Baxter, who is on the board of the CCRW and has been on almost every other board I can think of. Barbara is going to be our timing person. She has flags which she will raise as the time runs out on the questions. At 30 seconds, she will raise a yellow flag. Barbara, will you raise that? And it has a 30 on it. Who would have guessed? And then she raises a orange one that has 15, and I bet you most of you get this question right, but that means there's 15 seconds left, and then she has a stop sign. Most of us are used to running right through, but I won't allow that here. So, we're hoping to, I think, wrap things up by 8:30 to 8:45, somewhere in that window. Is that right, Bob?
8 to 8:30.
Okay, 8 to 8:30. Sorry, I wrote that down wrong. Okay. So, thank you for being here. We appreciate everyone's participation being here tonight. We almost ran out of room. That's a good problem to have. We're going to begin this evening by introducing to you Mr. Gordon. Scott is running for the 4th District Commission seat in a runoff, I believe, against Larry Singleton. Mr. Singleton was invited to attend tonight as well, but for his own reasons decided not to. So Scott has the floor. I'm going to have Scott come up. I'm going to ask Scott to introduce himself, take either podium, whichever one is best for you. And then I'm going to ask Scott to give us a brief introduction of himself, his background, and then I have 3 questions, Scott, that I'm going to ask you, and then you get a chance to just kind of wrap it up in a very brief closing statement.
Feel a little bit like Clint Eastwood, an empty chair.
I know.
I'll do that.
I don't think that one was so high, so I wouldn't do that. Just go ahead and do your thing. Thank you.
Fantastic. Good evening, everyone. It is so great to see the room full tonight. I am glad to be back here with CCRW Forum again. The event last time was a great success. Enjoyed my time here, and it is just great to be back again. Being in this runoff is a real thrill and a real honor. As many of you know, I'm a first-time candidate, so to be in an opportunity to win this race on July 22nd, it's humbling. But I'm excited about it. I'm even more committed to my resolve to show to the voters that I am the guy that you want sitting in that seat to be your next commissioner. I think one thing that will characterize me from my opponents and from many candidates is I like to listen, and I do listen. I'm a registered architect, and in my practice, I have to take people's needs and dreams and wants and wishes and their budgets and come up with plans and visions and deliver those on time and on schedule. And so in my role as an architect, I have to be a great listener. I have to be able to take in a lot of different opinions and synthesize a response and make a valid decision based on facts. I think this is exactly what we need out of our commission seat. We need folks that are going to listen to constituents, that are going to weigh the facts, that are qualified to understand the issues and then render decisions. One of the things I think is extremely important is economic development in our county. One of the ways that we can keep our millage rate low is to bring new business into our community. We've got the folks over at Cabela's. We've got a lot of work in our in Alpha project over there that we brought to town. And bringing economic development to our community is extremely important. We have the 2nd lowest tax burden of all metro Atlanta counties, and I think that's something to be proud of, something we want to tout as well. I am really grateful to be here tonight, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Some of the questions are, we've got 3 here, the kind of questions you'd expect. The first one has to deal with really prioritizing issues in the county. And it speaks to really trying to draw up your perspective on that. And here's the question. What do you feel, Scott, is the most pressing question or issue facing Cherokee County at this very moment? And what would you do to propose to deal with that issue?
That is a fantastic question. When I began my candidacy back in March, the very first thing that I did was I made appointments with our county manager, with many of our directors of our various departments throughout the county, to meet with them individually and personally to learn first what were the pertinent issues that were important to them, what were the things that were driving them, what were the things that they saw, because they're in the thick of it every single day.
And then I weighed that against what we learned from our media sources and what I learned as an individual. And the thing that I heard most overwhelmingly, the most amount of time, is that our economy is still very fragile. So what we have got to do, first and foremost, is make sure that we do not do harm to our families, to our businesses, and to our community by burdensome taxation that's unnecessary, burdensome regulations and requirements on our businesses that don't allow them to thrive and succeed. We have absolutely got to make it easy to do business, to live, to play, and to worship. In Cherokee County, we have to be able to live our lives, conduct our business, and government needs to make sure that we don't get in the way of that. So, number one the thing is to protect us from overreaching policies that would cause us to burden us anymore as we work through this economic recovery. I know my business is really beginning to take off right now, and the last thing I want to do is deal with taxation or with business or regulations that cause me to stumble and not be able to move forward.
Thank you, Scott. Second question has to do with the cost and the resources associated with government services and our support of them. It has been noted in the Tribune recently that sheriff and fire department services are having a constant turnover with trained personnel leaving the counties for what are often higher paid positions and better benefits in other counties. Do you have any thoughts on that? And if so, how would you propose that be solved?
That is one of the great things about living in Cherokee County. We have award-winning public safety staff and award-winning facilities. We have award-winning organizations in our public safety. They serve us well, and they serve us with integrity and honor, and they do it in an exemplary manner compared to the entire southeastern United States if you look around. As far as the cost of the resources and what it takes to deliver what they need, I think they're doing a fantastic job of using what we give them in an efficient manner. And I would use the fire service as an example. When I met with the chiefs back when I began my candidacy to understand what their issues were, they said to us that, in 1999, if you lived north of Sixes Road, it was a volunteer fire station that would serve you. There were no fire stations north. Does anybody in the room remember that time? And there was no fire service north of Sixes Road. Today, we've got two-man engines, or two-woman engines, as the case may be, throughout our community. We need 5 more fire stations in order to be able to service the communities that we have. We have a brand new fire training center, which I'm privileged to have been the master planner on through my professional career. And so those resources are being used in an amazing way right now to deliver fantastic services. Our ISO rating just lowered in the county, so your house insurance should be going down very soon as a result of that. So I think that when our public safety folks come to us and they ask us for additional resources, nobody wants to pay more taxes. Nobody wants to spend more money than we have to. But we also have to weigh what's being done with those resources. I'm here to tell you, our public safety folks are getting it done with what we give them. And sometimes it's not enough to make the ends meet. So we need to support them and keep it strong. Because at the end of the day, when you make that phone call to 911, you want them showing up.
Thank you, Scott. Let me ask a question of the audience, just to show of hands. How many people in this audience are actually from District 4?
Thank you all for coming.
The reason I think that, let me make something clear. I believe, I'm going to inject something. I believe commissioners, board of commissioners are important regardless of the district they're from, because your opportunity to speak to the board and influence where the board goes beyond your district. So we should all be concerned about your election. But this question in particular is just for District 4 concerns or focuses on that. So that's why I asked that question. But it is, I think, a misnomer to think that the only people that should be concerned about this election for this district are people from District 4. And so I don't mean to imply that by asking this question. But that being said, in a rather verbose manner, let me go on with the question. What is the one or perhaps 2 issues or problems that relate only to this 4th district? And how and what solutions would you do to address and support that?
That's an outstanding question. We had a lot of questions about districts 1 and 2 in the last debate, so I'm very pleased to have one for District 4. First and foremost, in Southwest Cherokee, we've got a rapidly growing area over by Interstate 75 with a brand new business park, a lot of new commercial development, and I've got two ladies sitting down front right here who are very concerned about what that traffic, about what the planning of those things are going to do to impact their homes, their traffic, and the things that are going on in that part of the district. We've got Centennial Lake subdivision over there, which is a rapidly growing, well-done community. So in that corner of the district, we've got a lot of things going on. Good, solid planning, like an architect can deliver, to tackle issues like traffic and circulation and economic development and personal property rights, and all the things that come along with management development. Over on the other side of the district, in the Town Lake area, a lot of our work has already been completed under the Parks program, under the roads programs, the SLOSS programs under our current commission. So we're about to enter a time in that part of the district of planning, to look at what that next project is going to be, to look and see what the needs are going to be for the next SLOSS if we choose to enter into one. One thing that is very near and dear to my heart, I was the president of the Southern Off-Road Bicycle Association that brought us trails on Sixes Road. The mountain bike trail, wildly popular. I've heard a lot of folks in District 4, especially in the Town Lake area, talk about how can we bring multi-use trails like the city of Woodstock has into the entire county so that we can begin to minimize traffic for recreational uses by allowing people to ride out of their homes and go enjoy themselves as they go. We have a lot of issues in District 4 that are coming up. A lot of them are related to planning for the future and setting the stage so that as these areas begin to develop, that we do it in a balanced manner so that we don't have unequal focus in our district.
Thank you, Scott. We're going to give you, let me see here. Why don't we give you about a minute to do a quick 1 minute kind of wrap up closing statement. That would be awesome.
Let these gentlemen get up here. I know I'm the opening act, so I'll be brief. I am not a slick talking politician. This is the first time I've run for office, and but that doesn't make me a newbie. I've been in this community for 22 years. I've served on boards. I've been involved in volunteer organizations. I'm a member of the Volunteer Planning Commission in the city of Woodstock right now, land use issues. My goal here is not to further my political career, my business, or my position in the community. My goal here is to serve my community. I think I've got some unique skills and some unique background and experience that will fill this seat that Mr. Nelms is leaving very well. And I'm excited about the opportunity to fill that. And I would be greatly appreciative to have your vote on July 22nd. Gordon4post4.com will take you to my Facebook page. I hope that you'll visit it. I hope that you will contact me and ask me the hard questions. Just to think you didn't ask me the hard ones tonight in advance of July 22nd. Thank you all very much, and God bless you.